Happy Saturday. I'm on part 2 of my morning medication. Already took the ibuprofen. Now it's Uncle Brian Lifter. I've had the hiccups since late Thursday afternoon when I got home from the hospital. Hopefully it passes. I won't be walking around the grocery store in the mall today. She's on her own. I've been doing okay walking, but I get little spells where I feel a little. So I don't want to be in a store when I turn into the leaning tower of Uncle Brian, and I'm kind of looking out of the corner of my eye. Is there something there in case I got to lean on it when, if this gets any worse, and I'm very dizzy until it passes. So, hey, that's it. And tonight, a couple guys are going to come by with the old ladies, hang out with us. I'm not ready to go hear a loud band. That'll be in a few weeks. I'm quite not ready for loud noise right now. I'm going to add my 2 cents or something. You cannot help people that do not want to be helped. You cannot change people that are unable to change. It's a waste of time. Some things can change. I've known many people in my life, drugs, alcohol, and some died. And a lot of these people are the nicest people you ever wanted to meet, a heart of gold, until drugs and alcohol took control of their life. And it robbed them of their life, sucked all the happiness out of them, sucked all their desire and ambition out of them, And they just began to live for alcohol and drugs. They had no desires to want a nice car, get a girlfriend, get married, have kids, have a good stable job, maybe buy a home, take vacations. All that was taken from them, And in many cases, it took their life. Then there were the others that, for whatever reason, they decided that they didn't want to live like that anymore. And they got the help that was available. And they recovered a day at a time. And they're still going strong today. Married, kids, good job, nice car, nice home. And they're happy. They're happy. That's the main thing. They're happy in their life, and they're happy with the people in their life. I've seen both sides of it with people. I had a cousin, at age 42, he died due to alcohol and cocaine. And I saw how his dysfunction turned that whole family unit dysfunctional. My aunt and my uncle, his wife that had to finally divorce him, ended up having restraining orders on him. Fortunately, he didn't have any kids. That's a good thing. No kid should grow up with a father like that. And she had thrown him out several times. My aunt and uncle enabled him, took him in, until finally they couldn't. Now he's stealing from them. They were afraid to leave the house. He'd come home and something was missing. He had sold it to buy drugs. They all do that. And they'll be very apologetic. Oh, I'm sorry, I'll never do it again. Oh, I'm sorry, I'll never do it again. They say everything that they do not mean, just to get people off their back. They like people to pity them and feel sorry for them. That way they can be enabled by people. And they won't have to do anything about their problem. And then you get people that, they're just rotten bastards. They've been rotten bastards from the time they were a kid. I went to school with kids like that. They were rotten bastards when they were a kid. Always starting shit, cocky, arrogant, egotistical. Couldn't get along with anybody. Getting suspended from school. They were a handful with the parents. drinking and drugging at age 10 and 11 and 12. They grew up to be rotten bastards. Never got married, never even had it. Some of them never got a car. Getting arrested for theft, drug possession, beating up a girlfriend. They never change. They're incapable of change. Some people are not able to change. We call it, we have a personality. Everybody has a personality. You can tell the people that are somewhat happy, laid back, relaxed. This is, they call it cool, calm, collected. They'll have a sense of humor, but they'll take things very serious that need to be taken serious. You see how well they get along with people. They have family, children. You see how they are, how they interact with people, how people feel about them, how they feel about these people. And you get a sense of what they are. They're not perfect, but you get a sense of what they are. And I think the clinical definition is called a constitutional makeup. We all have that. And you see the people that by nature, they're kind of argumentative, always on edge. They trigger very easily, fly off the handle very easily. They've had problems with people their whole life, whether it's family, friends. There's always been some sort of drama and chaos in their life, throughout their life. A laundry list of problems, from financial to emotional, to how they don't interact with people well. They're arrogant. They exhibit racism, sexism, bigotry, some form of a bias, a hatred towards something. They're not happy people by nature, by constitutional makeup. They're not happy people. They never will be. They never were. They'll find a way to blame everybody for everything that's gone wrong in their life. And you will never get through to these people. And when you get too involved with them, thinking somehow you're going to change them because you think you're helping them, you got to understand something. Some people cannot be helped. You cannot help people. They're not able to help themselves because that's just what they are. And when confronted, they set up defense mechanisms. You hear about interventions and, family calls you over and there's, a few people there waiting on you and now they all pounce on you. What are you doing with your life? You got to smarten up. You got to start. When they get confronted, they feel trapped like a rat. And because their basic nature is to be hostile and angry, first thing they'll run to is lashing out at you. Get real cocky and arrogant. And then when they see that doesn't work, now they switch to another tactic. They calm right down. They'll be very peaceful, very passive, and now they will agree with you on everything and very apologetic. I'm sorry. Listen, you know what I said to you a few minutes ago? Listen, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean that. No, they did fucking mean it. But they saw tactic number one wasn't going to get them off the hook. It wasn't going to make these people go away. So they figure, maybe I'll try to butter them up a little bit. I'll tell them what they want to hear. Maybe then they'll leave me alone. Yeah, you're right. I shouldn't have done that. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I'll never do that again. Yeah, I'm going to be more careful. They will agree with you on everything and they'll be nice and polite and peaceful, hoping that you'll leave them alone now. That's what it comes down to. They don't change. Some people are incapable of change. And in a lot of cases these days, let's just say they have an emotional mental deficiency. There's something going on upstairs that makes them what they are, and they will always be that way. They are incapable of change. And sometimes you got to distance yourself from people. I mentioned a while back, I had a real good friend of mine, Scotty. We were like brothers. I was closer to him than I was to my own brother. We grew up together since we were 11 years old. His family was good friends with my family. We did everything together. We were the best of friends. And over the years, my life went on, got married, and things changed in my life, and didn't see him for many years. And then when I saw him, I didn't even know it was the same guy. He's 510 pounds. Wasn't working. Wasn't capable of working. His mother built him a one-room apartment up in the attic of a two-family house she owns. It's not too far from me. In fact, his name's Scotty. It's on Scott Street. And his brother Dave lives a few houses over from me. Dave's a good guy. You know. Came across me on Facebook at that time. I haven't been on Facebook in ages. Hey, what's up, Brian? Hey, come by, stop by. Where are you? I'm at my mother's house up in the attic. I got my apartment up there. So I went over. I walked in. I was like, holy shit. One room. His mother had the attic converted into an apartment. One room. Small bathroom. A small little alcove with a little small stove, 2 burners, electric. And a small little mini fridge and a heater. And a TV. And a big sofa bed. And he's laying there. I looked at him. I couldn't believe it. He was huge. He was drinking. And he was hammered. I'm like, hey, Scotty, what are you doing, man? You know, you working? He had been working at a daycare down the street. He never got his license. You know, we're talking about, hey, what's going on in life? He never got his license. Never had a desire to get his license. No car, no girlfriends, no nothing. He just drank and drank and drank. And then he started living on Facebook. And I'd check in on him. He'd go live on Facebook, rip-roaring fucking drunk, making a total fucking fool of himself. And he was madly in love, obsessed with Black Sabbath. Well, I know we liked Black Sabbath when we were younger. And he'd be putting up live videos, wailing away, singing Black Sabbath songs, drunk out of his fucking mind, making a total, and people are laughing at him. And I'd call him, Scotty, what are you doing? Get off Facebook. Shut that thing down. Oh, come on, Brian. I'm having fun. And then I'd say things on his video on Facebook, and people, oh, leave him alone. He's having fun. Let him enjoy himself. And I say, he's drinking himself to death. If he dies, you're going to go to his fucking funeral? Here you are encouraging him to ruin his fucking life. You call yourself a friend? And I had several confrontations. A few times he called me. He'd get drunk and run his mouth and threaten people. He was in no condition to fight anybody. He could barely stand up carrying that weight. Called me a few times. Hey, Brian, can you come by? What's the matter? A couple guys here. They want to beat me up. I went there and I banged it out with a few guys because of him defending him. I found myself doing so much to help him, and he was not about to stop doing what he was doing. He was causing all these problems, and now I had to deal with his problems. He lived there rent-free. His nephew that lived downstairs on the second floor had Wi-Fi. His nephew let him tap into his Wi-Fi so you could stream TV to watch it. Didn't pay for cable, didn't pay for anything. When he wanted booze and food, his nephew would go and get it for him and bring it to him. His nephew enabled the fucking hell out of it. And I had to talk to him. His name was Dennis. Dennis, what are you doing, man? Don't you realize you're helping to kill your uncle? Oh, but he's my uncle. Felt sorry for him, enabled him. You know? And I was the one carrying the heavy load, defending his ass. I tried talking so much sense into him. I should have given up long before. I already told you about this, but now I'm telling you the end result. Because the last time I mentioned this several months back, I got to a point, I said, Scotty, man, you're on your own, pal. Now, if he called me for like 3-4 days, I wouldn't answer the phone. Then finally he gave up. But the last time we talked, I'm looking at his foot and his leg. It was fucking blue. Up past his ankle, like halfway up the calf. And his legs were big to begin with. But that one leg was twice the size of the other leg. I'm like, Scotty, oh yeah, I'm a diabetic. And you're drinking. What are you doing? He didn't care about anything, not even his health. Yeah, doctor said he might have to cut off my foot. And he laughed. Shit, might have to cut off my foot. And he laughed. I think that was a tipping point for me. I looked at him. I remember this like it happened yesterday. When he said that and he laughed about losing his foot to his diabetes due to his chronic alcoholism. I looked at him. I looked down at his leg. I shook my head like this and I walked out. By the time I got home, he's calling. Anyway, I ran into Dave recently. How's Scotty doing? He said, Brian, he shook his head. Brian, you don't want to know. He says, he ended up getting his leg amputated. A little bore the knee down. And now he's got cirrhosis of the liver. And he's still drinking. And we just looked at each other. He said, Brian, I've tried talking to him. He says, I know you of all people. You bent over backwards trying to help my brother. And he just didn't want to listen. He doesn't listen to anyone. Not only did he lose his leg, now he's got cirrhosis of the liver. He had a hard enough time just trying to get up and down those stairs to get out of the fucking house with 2 legs. Now he can't at all. He says he's got doctor's visits because now with his problems got to go, especially with an amputation. He had to get some medical service. They go there like a fire rescue, and it takes 4 fucking guys. I said, Brad, it takes 4 fucking guys with like a stretcher thing to get him on it, and then get 510 pounds of dead weight down 3 flights of fucking stairs to get him to a doctor, and then get him back up there every fucking week. He can't do anything for himself. He couldn't do anything for himself before. Now it's even worse. And now he's got cirrhosis of the liver. He's not going to be living very long. I admit I was kind of tempted to call him, but I won't. I know I'll get sucked back into his dysfunction again. I know I will. You know, when people are that dysfunctional and you get too close to them, they draw you into their dysfunction. That one alcoholic, that one drug addict in a household will turn that whole family into one dysfunctional family. It spreads like a disease. Now these people are no longer happy. They're no longer thinking about their life and their ambitions and goals. Their whole mind is consumed with that one person, constant worry every time they leave the house. He's been gone for 3 days. Did he get in trouble? Is he in jail again? Did he get murdered in a bad drug deal? Is he dead of an overdose somewhere? They found my cousin. I had lost track of him after this. They found him in a little one-room shithole down by the docks, where there's a rooming house there where all the fishermen have problems, put it that way. They found my cousin dead there. In a little one-room shithole, like 12 rooms on that one floor and 1 toilet and 1 bathroom. Dead of a drug overdose. He never changed. Some people will not change. Some people are not able to change. And when you see that some people will not change, some people are unable to change, the best thing you do is distance yourself from them. Do not get too involved in thinking that somehow you're going to change them, because you won't. You'll just get drawn into their dysfunction. You'll find that you're in a good, happy mood, whatever you encounter them, and now suddenly you're as angry as they are. And it changes your whole day. It sucks the happiness out of you. I've been there. I won't go there again. For what it's worth, if any of you think you're going to change someone, better think twice.